Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today something brand new tooled again from ICM, our friends in the Ukraine. Another one of their brilliant new 2023 kits. It's something a bit unusual as well. So it's the Gotha WW2 Now, the Germans in World War II had this transport glider, and I forget the exact designation of it. I think they also called it Gotha, not to be confused with the Gotha bombers of World War I, of course. But this is the later development version when they decided they were going to put a couple of engines on it and make it a normal powered aircraft, with the idea of dropping small units, and you know, they could drop maybe a half track and maybe a small light tank, or you know, Kettenkrad or something like that, with a few men off, perhaps a dozen men or so, into a trouble spot. So this is the idea. It's not really an aircraft I've really come across before, I've got to be honest, but let's have a look. So we've got something here. It's 48 scale, it's going to be fair size, I think. Kit number is 48224, and they say difficulties encountered in the use of cargo gliders and a shortage of aircraft to tow them led to the creation of a motorised version of the GO242, the 244 transport aircraft. These medium-sized transport aircraft were converted Gotha 242 airframes of various modifications. Aircraft engines were installed in front of the tail beams, fuel tanks were mounted on the inside of the plane, and the cockpit was equipped with the necessary equipment and instruments for flight. The aircraft were most often powered by the trophy French Gnome Rhone 14M engines. Okay, something that they captured in the fall of France, obviously. Defensive armament consists of MG15 or MG81Z 7.9mm machine guns. Where are they then? I'm not sure where that is. Is it in the front? In the front, I think. The GO244B-2 modification was based on the GO242B-2 airframe, and like the airframe, featured an original landing gear with oil shock absorbers. The GO244 was in service with several transport Luftwaffe squadrons based in Greece. Later, these aircraft were used in flight school and training centres. Interesting. So it's something a bit different, isn't it? So, you know, Greece, maybe Crete. I don't think it's been Crete. I think it's possible. Let's have a look at what we've got. First, though, we'll have a quick look on the side. We seem to have got two options. It's quite a big plane, isn't it, actually? It's a bit of a beast. I think it's going to be quite a big kit. New tool, remember, for 2023, this one. Another one new from ICM. We've got two different marking scheme options. So, something very interesting and a little bit different, to put it mildly. So, a glider that's become an aeroplane. How about that for a change? Let's have a look. Let's see if I can get myself in. Oops, careful. Gently, gently. Slip the... it was very impressive adhesive tape to use. It's not easy to get into. That one is... There we go. Done. Right, now then. The beauty of ICM, of course, is that it opens easy this time. That's a nice change. The beauty with the ICM kits is they have these resealable bags, so you don't really have a problem in having to slit everything open once you are in there. So you only use the knife on the exterior. Wow, wow. So there's two big bags of sprues. This is big. It's a big beast. Gosh. I'm just trying to think if I know what the retail price of the kit is. I think it's about £45 to £49 or thereabouts, I think. It's in that sort of zone. We start off with some very nice decals. ICM very sensibly have provided us with the ability to create some swastikas should we require it, and very sensibly they split it, and therefore there's no issue. You can have it with the proper markings on. Got some squadron markings there, and of course there's some instrumentation as was mentioned, added to the aircraft as part of the modifications. So there you go, some nice decals, good start there. Yes, it's the sort of aircraft that you can use when you've got air superiority. I don't think you wouldn't want these flying around too much if there was fighters in the area, I don't think, because I can't imagine it was terribly fast. Anyway, let's put that over there, and we'll pop that down to one side. Let's see what we've got. Well, I see it unusually they haven't put a paint guide in. Oh, yes they have, yes they have. I'm just not looking in the right place. They have put a paint guide. I'm going to say it'd be very unusual if they didn't. So it's 3014, which is the World War II German aviation set. Okay, so that gives you, I think there's 5 or 6 paints. If you wish to buy that separately, let's have a look at the instructions. Oh my goodness, so look at this. Jeez. We've got some very large sprues here. Sprue map, huge wings from the look of it, truly massive. Obviously being an ex-glider it has to have a big wing. There's quite a lot of sprues, isn't there? There really is a lot of sprues. There's 3, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of sprues? Okay. So then, going straight into the build on the instructions, we have got to build our floor, and then you're building like a framework up here, which is going to form the basis of the cockpit area. Then for the interior, it's got these like a bench seat type thing, almost like a folding seat, aren't they, in fact? And there's, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 per side, so I presume there's 20 personnel can be seated, I think. It's on both sides. And indeed it is, so that's 20 personnel plus a vehicle, if it can take a vehicle. I think they might have to remove the seats for that. So you end up putting in all these bench seats, there's a set on either side to do that. 10 seats per side. And then you're going to build up the side of your fuselage with all the windows. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. It's going to be one of those ICM kits that needs a paint mask. I think you might want to source yourself a paint mask for it. Then we've got the glider controls with the rudder controls going in. And then you've got the stick here, or the yoke I should say, because it's more a yoke than a stick, isn't it? Although it seems to have a yoke and a stick actually, interestingly. How interesting. Now why would that be, a yoke and a stick? Can you see that? It seems to have a yoke on the left and a stick on the right. Unless one is to control something else, like operating the rear door or something like that. It could be. Anyway, then we've got the pilot and the co-pilots, navigators, instrumentation and seats going in. And then you're going to bring all this together with this little framework and floor you've already built. And you bring in the 2 sides of the fuselage. And then you've got your roof section coming in here. And then you've got some more instrumentation. And more windows. More windows. Oh, it's going to need a mass set, this one. It's going to be, oh, there's a lot of windows and frames here. It's going to be like the Sally bomber. I can see it coming. Then you're going to pull in all this glass house. Going to put them all together to form this big sort of glass house cockpit. Then you're building up your nacelles for the wing, for the engines, which are, don't forget, are something of an afterthought, relatively speaking. You've got your flaps and your ailerons going in here, all going to be mounted into the wing. Then you've got the mounting points, the radiators for the engines coming in, and then you're going to build up the other side, the other wing side as well. Then you bring the 2 wings into the fuselage, and then you've got support struts underneath because it's a high top wing, isn't it? And then you've got some work around the back of the cargo area. So you're now going to build the sides and the floor and the roof, in effect, for the cargo area here. And you've got like a loading ramp, it looks like there. You've got more windows. Oh, lots of windows in this kit. I can see there's going to be loads of clear parts somewhere. Not quite spotted them yet, but they're in there. and it's obviously like a hinging system, so you've got this like a hinging, it's a bit like an Argosy, but the Argosy is the one I think that had the opening nose, didn't it? This has got the rear section that comes up as the access for the stowage bay, the main loading bay. And then you attach that at the back via its connecting rods. I wonder if you can have it up. Yes, you can have it up, or closed or open. Excellent. So up for open or straight in for closed. Then you've got your tail booms coming in here, complete with your elevators that go between the booms. You've got your rudders that are going to go on the back. Then you're going to build up your engines here. So a couple of these French radial engines. I actually thought it was a Umo engine at first. It looks similar in dimensions to a Umo, doesn't it? And then those are going to go in on the front of the nacelles, and at the back of the nacelles your booms plug into them. Then underneath you're going to start building up the landing gear, which is fixed, I think. Yeah, fixed. And your wheels and tyres are going to go on there. You've got your control rods for your ailerons and your flaps to go in on both sides. Same on the elevators at the back, and also they've got balance trim tabs, haven't they? Balance tabs. And then you're going to make sure that they go onto the same thing that goes onto the rudders as well. Then we've got this machine gun, so I was wrong, it's actually on the top. I wasn't far off, but it's actually, that's what the guy on the right is operating. He must be a gunner as well. Then you've got your props and your spinners coming in here. Props and spinners. And then you've got your masking to do. So this is the masking call outs for all the masks for all the windows, because there are quite a lot of windows. Now I have said, I'm going to say this now, I'm going to be fair, I've got to be objective. This is another of those, I talk about this in my Let's Talk About ICM video. Some of the subjects that ICM are choosing have a lot of these greenhouse type canopies, glasshouse canopies you might say, and they do require a lot of masking. I do think they should provide a mask set. I think it's, it'd be far easier and simpler for people to have it provided with a pre-cut mask set. I recently did a review of the Meng G version of the Phantom, the Wild Weasel, and that came with the most wonderful mask set from Meng. I was very impressed with that. It's the best one I think I've ever seen. Now, we have a template here to make your own mask, but it's quite a lot of work, isn't it? I wish that ICM would just maybe in the future reconsider that going forward, and maybe have a think about getting some mask sets if they're going to continue doing this type of model where there is a lot of masking required. Anyway, bring you back in here. We have got now finally your colour call outs, and we've got quite a nice paint scheme, I've got to say, the sort of stipple type scheme. So we've got this one here with a big yellow band around it, and yellow bands underneath the wings, underside of the wings. And same on this one, difference being, what's the difference? It's quite similar. It's a very similar scheme actually, just different markings. So there we have it. I think I need a drink. I'm feeling a bit faint after seeing all that glass work. Anyway, cheers. Today I'm drinking the Casa de Colores again. Another bottle of Casa de Colores, Cabernet Sauvignon from the Central Valley of Chile from Marks and Spencer's. Cheers. Right, now then, where to begin? I think we'll start with this big one with all the wings on it. It's also got the clear parts in, so it makes you feel faint. We'll get that out of the way quickly. Maybe even start with the clear part. Right, okay. Separate bag for the clear part. Oh, it doesn't look that many actually now I've got the actual sprues in my hand. Maybe it's not going to be so bad after all. here we go then. Clear parts first. Well, they're very beautiful clear parts. My top canopy though has got a little tiny faint scratch in it. It is only faint, but it's definitely scratched right across it. Strange position as well. Show you. Slight scratch. It's not that bad. I think you're just going to polish out that one, in fairness. If you look very carefully here, I think you should just about see it. Can you make it out? It's, yeah, you see it there now, can't you? It's just running down here to here. Can you make that out? I'm not sure the camera's picking it well. There, see it there, can't you? Just across the two parts. There. Slight scratch. But they're very clear, aren't they? Very bright, crisp looking plastic. You've got quite a complicated part they've moulded there really nicely. And yeah, apart from that one issue, which I think will, yeah, I think you take care of that with a quick polish. But it's very clear and bright, very even looking, fairly distortion free, I would say. Yeah, it doesn't look too distorted or anything. It's very nice, apart from that minor glitch. I mean, that's not bad enough that I would complain about it, because I think it's so mild looking. It looks very shallow. It's like it's just been caught with something, perhaps as it was coming out of the mould. I don't know. Something very minor has happened to it. Not a major problem at all. Nothing that the average skilled modeller couldn't sort out in about 10 minutes though. Right, that's that one. Now then, let's have a look at these. Oh, it's big, isn't it? Big! Jeez. Okay, so we've got some lovely effects here in terms of the finishing. Got some sort of stretch skin effect here. This is the underneath of the actual fuselage. Look at that. Is that good or what? That's nice, isn't it? And again, you've got some stretch skin here on the elevator as well, which they've done well, and on the top of it over here. Stressed skin effect, yeah. Yeah, that's quite interesting the way that's been done actually. You've got these great big tail booms here. Absolutely massive, isn't it? And then over on the next sprue we have got our engine nacelles. ICM always has this nice feeling plastic. I always think it looks very receptive to paint, and it generally is. They've done those well, haven't they, those propellers? Nice positioning of the sprue gate contact point. Yes, they've done this well, very well indeed. Yeah, again some fine residual flash wandering around in the bag, not so much on the parts themselves. Then we've got a sprue here which is actually a twin one, but haven't they done this well? Look at the detail of this wheels and tyres here. The treads. That's nice, isn't it? And then you've got all these little seat backs, look, for all the seats for the soldiers to sit in. And here you've got the seat pads that they actually sit on. That side, in fact. So they sit on that side. Gosh. And then you've got your machine gun here. Huh. Wow, there's some nice fine moulding going on here. Very detailed, isn't it? Very, very good. Yep, like that. There's two of those sprues, twin set. Okay, so that's that. Just leaves us with this huge sprue, which I need to zoom you back for because it's so massive. There we go. How about that? So this has got the sides, and again you've got the stressed skin there, which is very nicely done. See it? Yeah, they've done that well. Also stressed skin within the surface texture on the wings. That's been done well as well. Yep. Sort of reminded me of the Avro Anson from Airfix a little bit, isn't it? quite similar. Yeah, that's nice. That's very, very nice. And then of course over on this side, the opposite side of the fuselage, again more stressed skin. Beautiful. Absolutely brilliant. That's very nice indeed. So far so good. Not that there, not there. And we'll pop that straight back in its bag. He says, famous last words. Just pop it in the bag, you know, just like that. Crinkle, crinkle, little star. They do crinkle their bags, don't they? Very crinkly. Right. Then the other big bag, second and final bag. And again, I think there's quite a lot of static from these bags, and that's what causes some of this flash to get a little bit active sometimes. Oh, look at these. These have been done very well. Let me just get them out so we can see it properly. So now we have the rest of these body panels. Now then. And as you can see, we've got some more stressed skin effect, and it looks very, very detailed, doesn't it? Haven't they done that well? Even on the nose section, the chin underneath. Oh. And again over here on the wing, on the side of the wing, and here as well. It's good representation, isn't it? Absolutely excellent, that. Then we have got a twin sprue set, which is the engine parts here. This is this French radio engine that they've obviously purloined, shall we say. Having occupied France, they've got their hands on some cheap free engines, cheap stroke free. It's got very small spinners though for the propellers, hasn't it? But again, nice detail here. You've got the you can see the cylinder head details done well, and there you've got the con rods and the injection system, I think, isn't it? And then you've got the cooling system here. Or is that for the exhaust? That's the exhaust, isn't it, actually? Exhausts. Yeah, really nicely done. Two of those sprues. It's beautiful. Then we have got the undercarriage. It's quite a beefy looking undercarriage, isn't it, underneath? And also you've got your is it nose wheel? It's a nose wheel, isn't it? Because it's a tricycle undercarriage, of course. So you might want to put some weight in the nose of this somewhere, because I'm just worried it might end up being a tail sit if you don't. And then we've got these more sections here. I think that's from the rear section. And then you've got your suspension in the undercarriage there. And then now we get to the really fine parts. We'll zoom you out. Some really fine pieces here. Look at these. Oh, these are nice. Remember, this is a new tool kit, and you've got all this very fine framework there. Very, very flash free, very accurate, very thin. You're going to have to be careful when you're cutting this off. You need to go about it very gently, I think. Yeah, and you've got your pilot seat there, pilot navigator seats here and there. Bit rudimentary, aren't they, to be quite honest? But isn't that fine, this framing work that they've done here for the frame that makes up the actual cabin cockpit area? That's been really beautifully done. Excellent, that. Fine, fine moulding. And then last but not least, we've got this one, which has got all these control surfaces ailerons, rudders, etc, etc. And again, we've got lots of stretched skin, fabric effect, as you can see, right the way across. Got the flaps there, again stretched fabric on the rudders. Just a split rudder, isn't it? Yeah. And then more stretched fabric effect. Same on the ailerons. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it, really? So they've gone a little bit different with this kit, haven't they? It does remind me a little bit of the Airfix Avro Anson. Maybe not quite as fine as that, but that was because that particular aircraft was a little bit different. It had aero ply, whereas I think this is actually fabric, stretched fabric. And yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. It's just fine and crisply detailed and great contouring on those surfaces. You know, there's nothing not to like, basically. Just isn't it? So, what do we think of that then? Well, kind of what I was expecting. I knew it was going to be a good one. And it really is a very impressive kit. There's so much, you know, like the trim tabs on the rudders even. Little details that they've included like that, where they've really gone out of the way to mould them very crisply out. So they've got relief, so that when you put a wash on it or something, or do a little bit of an oil wash maybe, it's going to really pop. Also, all these balance weights and things that are sort of a character of these aircraft. They have these finely weighted control surfaces. You can see it there on the rudders and the elevators, can't you? Those little balance weights that's sticking out. Absolutely brilliantly represented. It's a fine kit. It's a fine kit. Whether they could have done a bit more detail on the flooring and stuff like that, I'm not sure, but you're not going to see it, are you? That's the thing. You'll see it from the front, and again, it's not going to be really visible. There's not a lot of window to look into. You know, yeah, on the real aircraft you can, but you can't squint in around the corner of the engine, so you're not going to see much detail there. I think it's more than adequately detailed. I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, there was a little bit of flash wandering around here and there, but overall, really, it's a beautiful kit, that, and something very unusual as a subject. You know, I think it lost a quarter of a point because of having no mask there. Because, again, repeating myself, I know, but yeah, they need masks. That's going to be a problem for us to try and paint those frames. And I think that it's easily fixed. You know, maybe just if the kit was another £2-3 maps. £5 even, to be honest, and they included an Edward mask for it, then I think it'd be fine, really. I think that would, you know, the trouble is people are going to have to go and separately make an effort to purchase a mask, when a lot of other manufacturers now are including them. You know, even Tamiya include them, even though they're not cut out, but they are there. I still need to just think about that for the future. But a beautiful kit, something interesting and new again. 9.5 out of 10 from me. I think that's a very fair score. I hope you'll give me 10 out of 10. And give me a thumbs up, a like, because they all count. And don't forget to ding the notification bell if you haven't done that already. And please make sure that you've dinged the all notifications option. Don't let them make it the personalised option, because that means that YouTube starts making decisions for you about what it thinks you will and won't like, and that's not ideal. You know, it's better that you know about my content, and then if you're not interested in the subject, you think, I'm not interested in boats or whatever it is, or, you know, gliders. But that's fine, you made that choice, but I don't think YouTube should make that for you. So I think it's better if you ding the all options, and then you'll know straight away whether it's of interest to you or not, won't you? Anyway, thank you very much for subscribing. If you haven't, you know, if you have been with us for a while, and if you're a new subscriber, thank you for joining us afresh. We'll have more interesting things coming up very soon, and in the meantime, thanks very much for your time, for watching the video. Please stay well, stay safe. And if you're in the northern hemisphere like me, stay warm, because it's not warm here at the moment at all. And until next time, look after yourselves. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.